Well, Peter Doran joining us now. He's a senior fellow for the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies, my friend there. Peter, good to see you here. There's a lot to talk about. And in just about an hour's time, ahead of the president's meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu, you just heard there the president of Iran saying he's in a war with Israel, the United States, and Europe. What do you make of this? You just got a lowdown on the Iranian economy, or lack thereof, I should say.
Well, thanks, Andrew. You know, it does strike me of that old saying, full of sound and fury, yet signifying nothing. We are looking right now at a brutal dictatorship. That is the clerical regime in Iran. They're on the back foot. Let's also remember that dictatorships are strong until the moment they're not, and then they shatter. Seeing video of Iranians taking to the streets, I don't blame them. Their money's worthless, their food is expensive, and water doesn't flow from the pipes. Rhetorical slings and arrows at the Americans won't matter much if you can't drink water from your own faucet. This is a serious situation for the clerical regime.
Peter, let's get to the meat, though, of Ukraine, Russia, and the United States. The ongoing peace negotiations, Zelenskyy and Trump meeting at Mar-a-Lago yesterday. Listen to this.
We had a terrific meeting. We discussed a lot of things. As you know, I had an excellent phone call with President Putin that lasted for over 2 hours. We discussed a lot of points, and I do think we're getting a lot closer, maybe very close.
So, Peter, Trump said 95% there. Would you agree with that assessment? Are we almost across the finish line or no?
I think Trump is in negotiation mood right now. He is trying to keep the door open to both the Ukrainians and the Russians. That's why I think we're seeing a lot of the optimism that he's demonstrating. But we have to be frank here. We are still a very long way away from a final peace agreement, Andrew. And it all comes down to two important words: security guarantees. President Zelenskyy was in Mar-a-Lago because he is concerned, and rightfully so, that if there is a peace agreement, at some point Russia is going to violate that agreement. Russia will re-invade his country, and he wants very clear triggers for assistance from the United States and the Europeans. That's what really must be resolved before we can come to terms.
So, Peter, Zelenskyy did acknowledge what was somewhat agreed to in his conversations with the U.S. side here. He posted on X just hours ago. He said the president of the United States confirmed strong security guarantees. He said we also discussed a package of support for Ukraine's recovery after the war ends, an economic package. So we're getting some details, some information from Zelenskyy on what was agreed to. What do you make of that?
Well, I think it shows the major difference between Zelenskyy and Putin. And it all comes down to the one question: who is more credible? Whose actions are more credible than their words? Zelenskyy has taken President Trump's peace proposal. He's huddled with the Europeans. He's come back to Mar-a-Lago and he said, look, this is a realistic plan that the Ukrainian people must vote on and will accept. The problem now is Putin doesn't really want peace because think about it, Andrew, he's in a perfect position. President Trump calls him every other day now, sends high-level delegations, and yet the war can continue so long as Putin pretends to want peace but acts differently. That's really where we are right now.
Yeah, 2 calls with Putin in the last 24 hours. Peter Doran, thanks so much for your time here.